Good morning, good afternoon, whatever may be the case. My name is Cecil Young again, coming to you live and in color from Soundview Media here in Stratford, Connecticut. You know, I said I've been coming here speaking about issues pertaining to my civil rights being violated by state and city officials. And I've been talking about them, and I've been talking to state and city officials over those officials who violated my civil rights. What troubles me is that our local Connecticut Post, Bridgeport Post, Connecticut Post, our local TV station, News 12R, WICC radio station, really haven't grabbed hold to what I've been saying here. And I think they should. And the reason why I think they should is because there go the grace of God, as I said before, could be you, your neighborhood being dumped on like they dumped on here in Bridgeport at the health department, with people that were bringing their kids there for WIC vouchers and all the above, knowing that this contamination could have affected them. So for me to be persecuted and be ignored because of me having the audacity to want to speak about these issues, as well as you see here, I've always spoke about issues, putting more police in public housing projects, spoke about housing authority woes. I've always spoke out about issues pertaining to our people's rights. As a city employee for the last 27 and a half years, you see here, okay, I had no problem in speaking out about people's issues because I've always done that. And I've done that because I was told a long time ago that I would never be anything, do anything worthy of myself in terms of being able to prove that I deserve whatever I'm asking for. And here it is, here it is the man Joe Owens, who's the editor of the Connecticut Post at that time, who called me a man of action, okay? A man of action, why? Because of me speaking out about issues that affect our neighborhoods, our community as a large, okay? Also a man who's been involved in issues pertaining to all types of issues, public housing, community service, WDJZ radio station, community liaison officer of the Mayor Tom W. Busey, okay? Open up community police posts on the East End, supervised the workfare program for the city of Bridgeport, over 300 workfare recipients that would have been cut off for the welfare vouchers if they didn't participate in the program. And that's what's getting ready to come again now pretty soon, as you know. That's what the president is heading towards. Again, put more cops in public housing projects. I didn't get paid to do all of this. I did this because this is what God called me to do. And I'm glad that I was able to do it. And I'm saying to WICC, News 12, all the above, look at me, Cecil Young, who grew up in P.T. Barnum, public housing project, formed a cadet corps program to protect our neighborhoods, protect the people in the residence and also in the surrounding neighborhoods as well. I've done all of that and all the above for many years. And I did it not because I had to, because I wanted to. Because someone needed to be our brother's keeper, and I was my brother's keeper in our neighborhoods. As I said before, it's not about me, it's about we. This is my neighborhood over in the East End now, where I live now for the last 35 years over on the East End. Okay, but Cross Street is Milner Ave, okay, in Union. Okay, and it troubled me because this is the way it was looking like, okay, for a good long time. Right now it's heading back that way in terms of the debris from being trucks flying by, rolling by, and dumping stuff on the side of the road from time to time. But the story was really about the fence being taken down, someone still in the fence, and it was never really reported in the paper because of whatever may be the reason. I don't know for sure that's the reason why they never made a big deal of it. But this is a disgrace to have these fences be put up, okay, a year or two ago, okay, and to have the pipes be stolen, okay, and this not being looked into, not being investigated, in terms of those pipes being taken down and causing these fences to look the way they look now. It troubles me too as well because again, okay, we talked about trucks being embarked on Milner Ave, okay, which is this cross street from where I live at, Milner and Carroll Avenue. I'm on the other side of Carroll Avenue, on the other side of the turnpike. We had these kind of tractor trailer trucks on both sides of the road, where as we try to pull up out of our driveway, we could not see what's coming from the left or from the right. Okay, and it caused us to a point where we really had to put pressure in terms of complaining about this by exposing this. And because we exposed this, apparently someone from the Public Works Department heard our cry and decided to put no parking signs for trucks in this area now. Now, if you ride down Union Avenue to Cross Street, Milner, okay, you will see that there's no longer tractor trailer trucks being allowed to stay on the side of the road. They're both sides of the streets, blocking up our right-of-way, so we can't see when we're coming and going in and out of our neighborhoods, okay? That is no longer the case now because the city has put no parking signs of trucks for both sides of the streets. So that has been done. But I also want them to likewise come back to the neighborhood and likewise continue cleaning up along the side of the highway, which definitely needs your attention again, because as you see what it causes, rats, raccoons, all the above, to disintegrate and to make their nest, to make their home. And that don't have to be that way. And I'm saying to the city of Bridgeport, and I'm saying to the Connecticut Post, WICC radio station, please listen to what I'm talking about. It never was about me. Okay, I've been a community activist in the city of Bridgeport for over 60 years, okay? And now what I want to do is show you, okay, me doing community policing here in the city of Bridgeport in Green Homes apartment, all right? I did this for the Housing Authority, okay, for 4.5 years. I supervised over, I supervised close to, hold up here, left, right, what am I doing here, something there. Something ain't right here now, brother.
Turn the whole station. There.
Okay, all right, okay. I gotta go that way now. Something. It definitely ain't right with that one there. Ladies, excuse me for this dilation of reflection of what's going on here right now. It normally don't be that way, but right now maybe it's because we got too much light on me right now. But I wanted to highlight the fact that this is a tape that I want to play for you. Okay. It's a tape pertaining to me as what relates to me supervising the Bridgeport, the Stratford Avenue Police Detail on Stratford Avenue. And I want to hear the remarks that I had to go through. Oh man, what the hell is going on here? Oh, brother, this ain't getting it. All right. Where's the mic?
Communicate with the radio call. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to find out, do I just keep on going to the streets, communicating out right on my own, or do I come in and meet with the commanders in charge and ask them, could we sit down and meet each other and discuss it a little more thoroughly as to what we should do with each other? This is a letter from the mayor, okay? A letter to the superintendent. You want to read it? Yeah, I know. That my community liaison officers, please
See, this is what also troubles me too as well, is that you see me here, I was getting 625 supervising the Howland Authority police details. I supervised, 4 sergeants each shift and 4 patrolmen each shift, 8 officers a shift. For 4.5 years, I supervised for the Howland Authority. And it troubles me, okay, that for this Lieutenant Gibland, okay, to have the attitude that he still had against me pertaining to me wanting to walk with police officers on Stratford Avenue. It just goes to show you that these officers here had no problem in doing that. But because of him being a lieutenant, being in charge for a while, okay, and being there back then when I was coming up, I guess he felt like I was the same hood that he thought back in the days, someone running around with my little so-called community service corps gang, and he looked at me as a rabble-rouser. But I never was a rabble-rouser. I was a community asset, okay, to help my community as much as I could, and that's what I've always tried to do. And that's what troubled me, okay, is for Lieutenant Gibland, knowing that at that time they had a number of homicides on Stratford Avenue that needed attention to, and I was willing to voluntarily, on behalf of Mayor Tom Busey, as his community liaison officer, patrol with these officers on Stratford Avenue. And my job was to meet with the patrol car as well as the walking detail. And for this lieutenant to come in on behalf of Lieutenant Gibland and to give the impression that my detail was tied up on a homicide. Well, the question is, how could they be tied up on a homicide when they were there on overtime for me and for the city dealing with Stratford Avenue issues, not to be answering no homicide calls, because I didn't get no homicide call that they was on. And to give me the impression that they were on a homicide was an outright blatant lie. Okay, I was supposed to have met with the walking detail, which was 2 officers, as well as the radio car. And as you've seen Lieutenant Gibland, you heard him say that the radio car has been out there, but it wasn't out there, and that's why I said it wasn't out there. And that's why I say to the Connecticut Post, to News 12, to WICC, it's not about me, it's about we. We can save this city if we're honest with each other. We can save this city if we begin to be fair and impartial. And that's all I'm asking you to do, okay? And that's why I said to myself, how in the world could I myself, Cecil Young, a longtime community activist in the city of Bridgeport, can be disrespected and insulted, okay, by city officials? For an example, Jody Paul. Her remark was pertaining to my doctor's note being able to take time out of work. What was her remark?
Yes, the letter is dated March 10th, 2006, and this is from Labor Relation and Benefits Administration for the City of Bridgeport. Dear Mr. Young, a copy of your doctor's note was received today in this office. However, this documentation is still not acceptable as it does not provide a diagnosis/reason for your absence. Therefore, your absence is considered an unauthorized absence. In accordance with the city's attendance policy, upon an unauthorized absence of 3 or more consecutive days, the employee will be deemed to have resigned from employment. You must return to work immediately, or you will be deemed to have voluntarily resigned your position as a security guard with the City of Bridgeport. If you have any questions, please call your union representative. Sincerely, Jody L. Paul.
Now, that was Jody Paul. Now, you will see Jody Paul was one of the ones who had agreed with Dr. Evans, okay, in terms of terminating me, because that was who Dr. Evans sent me back to. After going to Janet Finch, she was also part of the Labor Relations Department. If you notice, it's like tic-tac-toe. Send me here, send me over there, send me anywhere they want me to go, knowing that they're basically playing games with me. Reflection of Janet Finch.
Yes. Again, from Labor Relations and Benefits Administration for the City of Bridgeport. March 17th, 2006. Dear Mr. Young, our office is in receipt of your application for family medical leave. Based upon the reason for leave that you provided, your request has been denied. Your reason for leave does not meet the requirements of a serious health condition or any other reason for leave as defined under the Family and Medical Leave Act. If you have any questions regarding this decision, please contact the Office of Labor Relations. Sincerely, Janet M. Finch.
Okay. Now, after hearing that from Janet and Finch, you see something? I said I better go ahead and just go up and work. So you see here, all right, the letter here saying that I was terminated for not coming to work. Can you reflect on that?
Yes, this is from the City of Bridgeport, Department of Health and Social Services, dated March 20th, 2006, and referencing an unauthorized absence. Dear Mr. Young, you were advised via a letter from Labor Relations dated 3/10 that you must return to work immediately or you would be deemed to have voluntarily resigned your position as a security guard with the City of Bridgeport. As of Friday, 3/17, you have not returned to work. There is no valid reason for your absence, therefore your absence is considered unauthorized, and your employment with the city is hereby terminated effective immediately. If you have any questions, please call your union representative. Sincerely, Marion Evans.
Shame, shame, shame on Mary Evans. Shame, shame, shame on Jody Paul and all the above. To sit here and literally lie on me and say that I have not returned to work, therefore I am terminated. Remember now, they said I was terminated for not returning to work. Here it is, a time card showing that on March 16, 2006, I did return to work. I worked, came in, I was supposed to work 3 hours that morning, and I worked an hour and a half, made them fully aware of the fact that I'll be going for a colon exam, okay, the following day, which would be that Friday, okay, and they were fully aware of that. It troubles me that here this is Dr. Evans, here it is, Dr. Evans personnel, Dr. Evans people telling her, okay, basically that I'm here, but I'll be leaving at 10:30 because I plan on getting married. Okay, so I have to leave to be picking up flowers. You see here, Dr. Evans' secretary gave 3 notes indicating the 3 different people who contacted her that day, her secretary that day. Here I am, the 4th person that was contacted, and told her that I'll be leaving at 10:30, which I left at 10:27. Okay, indicating that I'll be picking up flowers because I plan on getting married that day by Judge Paul Gannon. It really insults me as well is to have Dr. Evans call me a senior citizen and say I need to be home, relaxing myself, enjoying the life of Raleigh per se. I make my story added up to make it short. But to insult me by having her nephew come in a union position and to stay there and to take my slot, okay, to share my slot with her nephew, okay, and another union personnel, a supervisor's nephew, likewise with the other senior that was working there in the building at 752 East Main Street. Shame on the city of Bridgeport and for them to cover that up. And because I would not sign this here agreement, for what? Why should I have to sign an agreement? Terminated employees have a right to continue their medical benefits as long as they file agreements within a timely fashion. I did thus so. Why would I have to sign an agreement about what? The benefits automatically supposed to be given to me automatically for the next 6 months until either whichever comes first. And to add insult to injury as well, that is the reason why I recorded. I recorded Dr. Evans. I recorded Jody Paul, unbeknown to them. And I'm going to now let you hear some of what they said.
to work and work on the 16th and gave a notice. Yes. And they accepted me on that day, and I got paid for it. And encloses my check stub and my time card showing that they accepted me on the 17th. They paid on the 16th. They paid me for the 16th. There's evidence to back up that I left, notifying that I would be leaving, as she stated that I did not notify them. There's evidence by their own handwriting indicating that I left. So why would we sit here constantly being entertained by people who are constantly trying to distort the facts? And that's what she's doing. The evidence speaks for itself.
They expected me back without the doctor's note. I got paid without any doctor's note.
They did. How did I get paid for that day? You
Because if you technically work, then we have to pay you. You have to pay you. However, you came into work, you're only supposed to work 4 hours, you came in for an hour and a half and left without permission.
No, I
Again,
didn't.
another unauthorized.
Sir, please.
And that's all that is allowed.
Did you hear what she just said? Did you hear what she just said? I left again. Unauthorized. I left and again after 27 years of working with the city. How can I be sitting here and be explaining this like the way she's trying to explain my reputation? This is wrong. I'm saying you, sir, point blank. I have an audio tape recording of Dr. Evans and the folks. Now, in the fact that I came to work on the 16th, on the audio tape, it will confirm. It will say, here's how it went. I showed up on that day, on the 16th. Good morning, Dr. Evans. Good morning, yeah. I said, let's go to work. Okay. Going to work, you're working. How's your tape? I have a tape recorder.
Did they know you're taking this?
No, he didn't.
Did they know?
I don't think they did it. To be honest, I don't think they did it. It didn't matter.
Sure they did.
Well, it's probably did. Well, they did it. The bottom line is that I showed up to work on that day. I indicated that I'm here against my doctor's will. The doctor indicated I should be out from such and such to such and such a month. I came back against my doctor's will 13 days. After being out for 13 days, I came back within that 13-day period because I was threatened that if I did not return to work, I would be deemed as voluntarily resigned. Because of that, I feared I would lose my benefits, lose my job, my years of service. I came back to work. I came back to work and the doctor said, I'm here. But at 12 o'clock, I have to leave. At 10:30, I have to leave because I'm going to get married today. You know, I'm going to get married today at 12 o'clock. Joe Gannon is going to be marrying us at 12 o'clock. I asked Joe that day before that he married me. Paul, he married me. He said he would do that. At 10:30, I told Ethan and Dr. Evans, which is on the recorder, but both of them confirmed it. Ethan said, congratulations. Dr. Evans said, you can leave if you want to leave, but, you know, I'm not going to pay you for that time. I said, Dr. Evans, I do not expect you to pay me for the time that I do not work, but I am here because against my doctor's will. Because the doctor said I should be out for that whole month, but I'm here against my doctor's will because I fear that you will fire me, and I need my medical benefits because I have high blood pressure, I have high cholesterol, I have thyroid, my wife is sick, my daughter's going through problems. I mean, we need our medical benefits. My fiance was sick, we need a medical benefit. So we got married that same day at 12 o'clock. We left. I gave it. You see the phone transfer. Showing that on that day, the next day, we said I will not, you know, I was going to tell you, but I have a phone and it goes to call philosophy. They accepted that. You've got from them confirming that I was there on the 16th, a 17th showing that I was going to the Conlon game on the 17th, but yet still, they still sent the letter out over the weekend, which landed that Monday, saying that I was fired for not returning to work. For not returning to work. That's what you keep on saying. You keep saying I was terminated for not returning to work. There's evidence to show you that that was not the case, that I did return to work. There's evidence to show you that I did notify them that I would be leaving before the start of the shift, as well as the end of my shift, that I would be leaving. They have all that information in front of you to tell you that. They have no evidence showing anything about what they said, other than they just saying what she's saying.
Now I'm gonna stop this for a moment, but I want to just point out to you the fact that here it is again, like I said before, Albert Murphy and Mike Coad was part of the termination board. Now, terminated employees, all right, have a right to continue medical benefits as long as they file a grievance within a timely fashion, which I did do so the following day. What troubled me is that Mike Coad, knowing that terminated employee has the right to continue their benefits, all right, he should have automatically made Gerald Wayner aware of the fact, and I'm sure Gerald Wayner was aware of the fact, that, okay, voluntarily, if I voluntarily resign, as they said that I did voluntarily resign, as another excuse to justify what they did to me, which I did not voluntarily resign. I would never volunteer. Why would I voluntarily resign knowing I only have another year and a half in order to get my pension? okay, after being with the city for 27 and a half years. Okay, here is the problem. Gerald Weiner, Mike Cohat committed fraud. Now you say, how did I say that, Cecil? Number one, Murphy and Albert and Mike Cohat said the city was justifiable in terminating me. He said they were justifiable in terminating me, all right? All right. Now, if that was the case, termination employee does not have a right to continue their medical benefits. Yet and still, Gerald Weiner had 5 hearings, paying him $225 the first hearing, $150 the second hearing, $150 the third hearing, $150 the fourth hearing, $175 the fifth hearing. And for what? If I was voluntarily resigned, why would him and Mike Cohat get paid again for someone who voluntarily resigned? There should not even be an issue pertaining to whether or not should they get paid. If you're terminated employee and you have a right to file a grievance, yes, then I can see you having hearings. But if I voluntarily resign, as you will hear Gerald Weiner say, I voluntarily resigned, you will hear Mike Cohat said, yes, well, Murphy heard you say that, yet and still you went along with Murphy with the agreeing with the city that they were justifiable in terminating me, Mike Cohat. So for you now to act dumb and say, duh, put it all on Murphy, no, it was you and Murphy who conspired to commit fraud. Okay, Murphy had, what, 4 or 5 hearings, and the question is, how did he have 3 or 4 hearings, and with who? I met with Murphy one time. How did he get paid $700 after meeting with me one time? Who did Mike Cohat meet with? Okay, here it is, 1, 2, 3, 4 hearings Mike Cohat met with who? They met with me one time, me and Gerald Weiner, Mike Cohat, my wife, and another labor board union personnel met with them in a meeting, which you will hear him stated in a minute or two, okay, which showed you, okay, that they actually committed fraud. Now, I reported it to Governor Lamont, okay, all right? Governor Lamont is fully aware of the fact that they committed fraud, and I want to know why come he's not responding to that. And Attorney General Blumenthal knows likewise that they committed fraud. And the question is, why won't you go after these people for doing what they did? I've given you overwhelming evidence in black and white confirming the fact that these people committed fraud. They violated the public trust. And I say to myself, who are these people that make these people want to just let them do what they want to do and get away with it? Well, you see why. Gerald Weiner, who's been the chairman of the labor board for almost 20 years. Mike Cohat likewise been part of the labor board for almost 19 to 20 years. So they have awesome power. And they figure, hey, what the heck? Why not throw Cecil to the wolves? He's by himself. He got an attorney, John Williams, who don't give a damn about him because he likewise threw him to the wolves because he never even showed up in court, even after Mr. Young gave him $10,000 to show up on his behalf. Never, not one time. Then you say to me, Mr. Young, why are you still bitching? Why are you still complaining about your rights being violated? What would you say? What would you do? After paying an attorney, John Williams, $5,000 at Superior Court on Main Street, he never showed up. Then to give him another $5,000 to appeal it to the appellate court, he never shows up. And I say, what's with that? Who are these people? They got that kind of power? No wonder the Connecticut Post don't want to cover these people. No wonder WICC don't want to cover these people. Is that the reason why? That 12 and all of the above is afraid of these people because they got awesome power. Yes, they do have awesome power. Can you imagine if I worked for the Connecticut Post and I was to go against Gerald Weiner, okay, down the road, and I'm the manager and owner of the Connecticut Post, Gerald Weiner might take it out on me later on down the road because of an inefficient reporter, a reporter that wasn't qualified to be a reporter, but yet and still, because he filed a complaint against us, the labor board is going to rule in favor of them because they're mad at us going along with Cecil Young, even though we violated his rights, even though he has overwhelming evidence he violated his rights. His lawyer violated his rights. Attorney John Williams, he gave him $10,000 into the Connecticut Post, to News 12, to ICC. Why come I can't come on the radio and talk about this? I said to Lisa, I gave Lisa this stuff and asked her to look at it. And I'm saying to Lisa, I don't know her. I met her through the phone 1 minute. Asked her, was she looking at this stuff? I gave her a package of this information that I'm now giving you, that I've now given to the council, that I've now given to the governor, that I've now given to the Human Rights Commission. Lisa had all this stuff as well. And I asked Lisa after reviewing it, can I come on the radio to talk about it? Now I can't even get through to Lisa. Why? I don't know Lisa. I've never done nothing wrong to Lisa. And Lisa, if I offended you by me asking you to pursue this matter, well, I'm sorry. But what would you do? I lost my wife, Lisa. I lost my wife fighting this battle, a battle that should not have been fought for unjust termination. I lost my wife, smoked herself to death. She had a heart attack. She smoked herself to death, stressed herself out. My daughter bugged out, all of the above. Why? When you knew on March 15, 2006, I got married with her. She was put on my insurance policy, yet and still you put down that I was terminated for not coming into work. If I was terminated, she would not have been able to be on my policy. How dare you insult me like that? And to do it with Judge Paul Ganem, the mayor's brother. Paul Ganem married us on that day at 12 o'clock. And I'm saying to the city of Bridgeport, shame on you to disregard me and all of what I've tried to do for the city, for all the years that I've given to the city. Okay? I ran for mayor. In 1977, I ran for mayor. Why? Because I care about this city. I care about these people. Yes, I've been fired from the housing authority for wanting to make sure that police patrol our neighborhoods, and was told not to take these police officers on patrol to make our neighborhoods safe the way I think that they need to be made safe. And I got fired because of that. I got fired because I complained about contaminated dirt piles and raw sewage in the basement of P.T. Barnum. Yes. I've been through quite a bit. Quite a bit I've been through, and for what? Because I dared to care? What caused me now? What? I've been totally disabled for 20 years now. I haven't worked in 20 years. Look at this man here. For 14 years, this man literally has sat on my block year after year, day after day, month after month, sitting and watching my truck, watching me coming and going, wintertime, summertime. For 14 years, he watched my block, sat right there and watched my house. Now, he ain't never threatened me, but he sat there. For years, wintertime, summertime, he sits year around the clock. I would call the police to run him down and catch him. As soon as I put the police call through, he gets the message somehow or another. Maybe he had a police scanner, but he disappears. But we finally caught him one day and found out who he was. He would not produce any evidence as to who he was, why he was there, why he'd been there, and the police let him go. But this is the picture of the man who I took a picture of, who think he's intimidating me by sitting there watching me. Damn him, he can't intimidate me and think I'm gonna back off from him and others like him. Now they got another white dude watching me down the street on the right side of Milner, and then across street Milner and Carroll, down the end, and a brother on the left side watching me coming to and from. Take me out if that's what you choose to do, but you're not going to get it done quietly, because I will fight back. And if I catch you bending over my fence trying to lead into my property, I will take your ass out. You can rest assured of that. Shame on you in the city of Bridgeport to insult me, to tear me up to a point where my back had to be operated on for 7.5 hours. I had my back operated on because of what? Me speaking at the city council was attacked by several council members who thought I was going to strike at Yvette, a council person. For what? All I was doing was speaking through the mic, exercising my First Amendment right. And look at what happened to me. I ended up being put totally on disability. Totally disability. Why? Because of what they brought me through. Look at the treatment that I had to go through. Could you reflect on the treatment that I had to go through? All right, in terms of why have I been not able to work for the last 20 years. Just March 20th just passed. I have not worked in 20 years.
Yes.
20 years. You wonder why I can't sleep. You wonder why I can't think. You wonder why I'm not functioning right. You wonder why I can double talk and go yang, yang, yang at times. Because yes, what you did to me, you say, thank God, that's all I'm doing.
Yes, this is medical determination by a federal judge effective 3/16/2006, which is your termination, your first day after your medical.
All right, read it.
Okay, I'm reading 2 sentences before your exhibit. The medical record reveals that the claimant has been treated for back pain due to degenerative disc disease, osteoarthritis in the hips, left trochanteric bursitis, chest pain secondary to coronary artery disease, hypertension, and hypercholesterolemia, and it goes through exhibits 1F through 8F, exhibits 19F through 22F, 24F through 26F, and 28F through 31F on April 20th, 2007. An MRI of the lumbar spine revealed osteoarthritis degenerative disc disease at L3 with a bulge of the annulus towards the left at L4 with a herniation of the intervertebrae disc towards the left lateral recess, and at L5 where there was a left herniation and a significant bulge towards the right, Exhibit 2F, on February 26th.
Significant bowl, yes, because when they dived on me and landed on top of me, all 5 council persons stacked their dead bodies on top of me, which caused the bulge to bulge out, and that is the reason why I was forced to have to undergo an operation that took 7.5 hours.
On February 26, 2008, an MRI of the lumbar spine revealed multi-level degenerative changes involving L2-3 through L5-S1 level, but worse at L3-4 and L4-5, Exhibit 4F. At the consultation of February 12, 2009, Perry A. Scheer, MD, reported that the claimant's low back pain was secondary to lumbar degenerative disc disease. The leg symptoms likely related to the L3-4 and L4-5 with moderate spinal stenosis and foraminimal stenosis. A component of his symptoms are related to osteoarthritis of both hips. The claimant may also have evidence of a left trochanteric bursitis. Dr. Scheer recommended steroid injections, Exhibit 19F. In the lumbar spine questionnaire of June 10, 2009, Albert Walters, MD, reported the claimant was diagnosed with persistent low back pain, and due to degenerative disc disease, the claimant had positive objective signs of muscle spasm and impaired sleep. His medications caused drowsiness. His condition was expected to last at least 12 months. Dr. Walters opined that in an 8-hour day, the claimant could occasionally lift/carry less than 10 pounds, stand/walk for less than 2 hours, and sit for less than 2 hours. He would need a job that permits shifting positions at will from sitting, standing, or walking, and would need to take unscheduled breaks during an 8-hour day. The claimant was restricted from twisting, stooping, bending, crouching, squatting, and climbing ladders or stairs. He has significant limitations with repetitive reaching. Dr. Walters opined that in an 8-hour day, the claimant could use his hands 90%, fingers 90%, and arms 20%. He would have good and bad days and would be absent from work about 2 days per month due to his impairment. Exhibit 26F.
And this is not counting Dr. Scheer, Dr. Sue, the other doctors that did the operation. Them 2 doctors not even on the report.
Yes.
The final line is that they can declare me totally disabled. You can get down to the bottom line on that one.
Okay, all right. All right, I'll read the last, besides, we'll skip over Dr. Wainit's diagnoses.
Well, basically just saying that Dr. Wayne has just declared me totally disabled, and I'm going to go ahead and play Jody Paul the rest of her. Go ahead.
Well, it would be all of these.
All right, well, go ahead. Well, as you see, I've been totally declared totally disabled
Okay.
because of the injuries. Go ahead.
I'll read the last paragraph.
All right.
After considering the evidence of record, the undersigned finds that the claimant medically determinable impairments could reasonably be expected to produce the alleged symptoms, and that the claimant's statements concerning the intensity, persistence, and limiting effects of these symptoms are generally credible.
Okay. And that's why I said it's a shame and a disgrace that the city of Bridgeport would deny me a medical relief from the job, knowing that extreme anxiety is a legitimate reason for me being out of work, and for them to deny me that is a shame and a disgrace. And what troubles me too is that here it is a year later now, State Rep, City Councilman Ernest Newton and Anita Martinez had requested that the mayor's chief of staff have a meeting to discuss to see if whether or not was the city justifiable in terminating me. And thanks to Councilman George Cruz, who requested that Councilman Newton pursue this matter on my behalf, which he promised he did, and he promised he would, and he did to a degree. And it's sad because to this degree, he have not followed up on it. It's been almost now a year now, and I have not gotten a response from the city of Bridgeport pertaining from the mayor's office as to whether or not was the city justifiable in terminating me. They can't produce any real evidence other than a bunch of lies, which Janet Hawkins tried to give the impression that my doctor's note that I was a disgruntled employee. This had nothing to do with a disgruntled employee. This had to do with me, okay, wanting to complain about terminated dirt piles that affected these kids in our neighborhoods, and to be told and to have your medical benefits back from you, or because I decided to want to make an issue of this, and then you're going to try to draw up an agreement for me to sign, all right, with you, John Fabrizi, and then Mark Anastasia, sign an agreement saying that I'm going to drop my complaints if you continue to my medical benefits? No, I'm not going to continue that. For what? You unjustly terminated me by saying that I never showed up at work when you have overwhelming evidence that I did show up at work. Now let me put on Jody Paul, likewise, who will likewise confirm again as well, again, that I did come to work, and they were fully aware of this, as well as the governor was fully aware of this, and that's why I said to the governor, you are protecting those who are committing fraud. And I want to know why the Human Rights Commission gave the impression that after 3 months and 7 days that they're going to pursue this matter, when I knew good and well, once I found out that the governor appoints these folks to the positions, half of them, that I knew that they're going to be a trouble. And it was trouble. 3 months and 7 days later, they tell me that their legal department said that they could not find anything irrelevant enough to pursue pertaining to them committing fraud. They committed fraud. Terminated employees have a right to continue benefits. Non-terminated employees do not have a right to continue their benefits. I was a terminated employee who my benefits were denied, taken from me, okay? If I voluntarily resigned, the question is, if I voluntarily resigned, why was Gerald Wayne and why was Mike Cohad getting paid, having 4 different hearings pertaining to something that they know the law pertaining to whether or not I had the rights, either or. But they did it because they thought they can get away with it, and I have caught them in the act, and I want you to pursue that. Listen to Jody Paul. And that's why I said before, it's a shame and a disgrace that I can be treated the way I'm being treated. There's no reason for that. You know?
Do it from the recorder. From your hand, a hand mic.
Oh, yeah, my hand, mate. Chairman of the Labor Board.
That's who's laughing? Oh, that's who's talking.
Now you see what's so sad about that. Now you had Gerald Wayner, Mike Cohat act like they didn't know anything about those procedures. Now Gerald Wayner, as chairman, he knows good and well that terminated employees, if they file a grievance, have a right to continue their medical benefits. If you voluntarily resign, you do not get no benefits. They knew that. Yet and still, Gerald Wayner made $850 on a medical issue that he shouldn't have been involved in, because he knew good and well that terminated employees have a right for medical benefits. But because he acted like he didn't realize what was going on and got paid 4 or 5 hearings pertaining to my medical benefits, and then he didn't change that until after he met with 12 other commissioners who told him, and Mike Cohat, that they have to honor my medical benefits because the city just owed me those benefits. And they were forced to have to okay that. So they okayed it in 2008, ordered by that board of directors, who told them that they were not honoring Mr. Young's benefits as the Nays Union contract agreed to that they have to do. They did not do so until they ordered them to do so. And that is why I'm saying to John Doe public, download this show on your website, YouTube, Soundview Media, 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. You can download these shows. I got at least 45 shows on the air, which will break down everything word by word, document by document, voice by voice, of all of those that were involved in the cover-up of my civil rights being violated. Gerald Wayner, Mike Cohat, Dr. Evans, Gerald Ford, okay? They need to be brung to justice, and I'm asking for a grand jury or someone to investigate these allegations, along with Janine Hawkins, who gave the impression that I was a disgruntled employee. It had nothing to do with me being a disgruntled employee. It had to do with people's rights being protected and kids being made safe. Thank you much for listening to the Cecil Young Show. And again, download the Cecil Young Show Monday through Sunday. You can get everything you heard here in black and white as well as in audio, 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. Thank you again. See you next week.